Well, hello everyone. Chrissy and I are honored to have you here tonight. We have people from Brentwood, California, all the way down to Florida. And I give you a heads up, Lindy just found out they have severe thunderstorm warnings down in southern Florida, and they're no joke. So
I
hopefully she
just got a
doesn't.
notification on my phone 2 minutes before I Zoom. So we're praying that the internet does not go out.
If it
Right.
does, I can log in, so just hop in.
Yeah, we'll fix
Covered.
it. I think we're going to be good. And
Okay.
Eric is on. I saw his name there. So
Eric's here.
um,
So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce Eric tonight. We have a special guest. Eric Worre is joining us tonight, and he's going to speak about the $1 million mindset, how to think, act, and earn like a pro. I love that he has given this opportunity as a benefit from joining his network mastermind group this past February. On a personal note, we were fortunate enough to have purchased his GoPro book about 11 years ago in our first couple months in network marketing. Now, you've all heard me say this before. It was more like a letter to us as opposed to reading a book. It was like he wrote us a letter about all the things we were doing wrong. But the magic that he has is if you listen and truly want to be successful, you cannot fail if you follow his advice. Eric has been a leader in network marketing profession for over 25 years, although he's now retired from being a distributor and focused exclusively on Network Marketing Pro. His career has given him a broad range of experience. He's been a top field producer, building sales organizations totaling over 500,000 distributors in over 60 countries, the president of a $200 million network marketing company, a co-founder and president of his own company, TPN, the People's Network, and a high-level marketing consultant to network marketing profession. Eric has been an accomplished trainer and has conducted hundreds of live events around the world, teaching people how to become network marketing professionals. He has shared the stage with virtually every major speaker in the personal development and network marketing space. In 2009, Eric founded networkmarketingpro.com, the most watched training site in network marketing profession, with an audience in 137 countries around the world and a community of over 300,000 leaders. Eric is the author of an international best-selling book, GoPro, my favorite, 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional, which has sold over 300,000 copies its first 10 months and has become a must-read for anyone who is serious about building their network marketing business. Eric is engaged in an effort to raise all ships and allow this profession to truly take its proper place in this world as a better way. He lives in Las Vegas with his wife, Marina, and together they have 5 children and one grandson. I will now turn this over to the best of the best in network marketing, our inspiration, Eric Worre.
That's too crazy. Hi, how you guys doing?
We're
Um,
great.
and you know what's funny is like that bio is so dated because now I have 7 grandkids.
Oh,
So
we have seven
the
dollars.
last time it was written, I had 5 kids and 1 grandchild. Now I've got 7. So yeah, a little time's
Got to
gone by.
update your bio.
I
I
apologize.
know, I know, I know. I don't even know where it is. I mean, probably in the from the book or something. Anyway, there's like
Oh,
several versions out there in the marketplace. But hi, Christy and Dave. How are you? Good to see you, Dave. You
we're
look like
good.
you
We're
just got off
good.
the golf course. Did you hit them straight today or what?
I wasn't golfing. I was out working on shoreline on a water ski lake.
There
So,
you go. Oh gosh, must
First
be
day of water
rough.
skiing out here in Colorado.
I know, like laying sideways, doing your big, humongous water ski stuff.
our best
Um,
efforts.
and I'm just trying to move my body without getting injured. It's like you get to an age where like you wake up, you go in the shower, and you're like, what? I hurt my back. What did you do? I just took a shower. That's all I did.
Eric, don't you
Um,
know we don't get sore? You're
oh,
too
I know you
good,
guys are
baby.
amazing.
And, and
I was
and
just I was
I saw
asking my
you at that. I saw you at the event in February. You look pretty fit to us.
I was
So,
asking my trainers, like literally, if I sit for more than 15 minutes, like getting up is like I need a second to like work the kinks out of my system. Anyway, um, who cares about that? We're going to talk about being a pro intronaut,
We're
right?
gonna send you some collagen.
Huh?
I said we do. We're gonna
I
send you.
no. Listen. Just so you know, I take everything. I have you
I
guys'
know.
products. I have I have a red light bed in the next room. I've got infrared saunas. I've got cold plunges. I mean, if I can buy longevity, I'm buying it. I got oxygen machines. I've got a
well, we're
PEMF
selling
bed on
it.
my bed. Huh?
We're selling longevity.
No, I know. I got all your stuff. You don't think
Yeah.
I don't have your stuff. I know your secrets.
Eric, that
Yeah, he's
could
been with us before. Some of you may have seen him at our trainings before in the past.
Yeah, I know you guys' stuff. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's great to be spending a little time with you. I don't normally do this, and not to be bougie, but I for like individual groups, but because these guys are part of our mastermind, it's just something that we offer. And I'm glad to be having a conversation with you. I'm sure they invited you because they believe that you've got the potential to do something huge. So we're going to talk about this idea of how do you have a mindset to act like a professional in this business. That was the big breakthrough that happened for me. Okay, so like Doc Mitchell, are you an MD? No. What
No,
kind of a doctor are you?
naturopath.
Naturopath. Even so, are you a professional?
What's that?
Are you a professional?
Yes,
Yeah.
very
And-
much.
Right. I can tell looking at you. So you could probably answer the question about how to be a network marketing professional, similar to being a professional as a naturopath, because it's about the same.
Yeah.
So whether it's water skiing or being a naturopath or whatever it is that you've done to be great at, it's about the same. But our business doesn't talk about that. It really doesn't. It promises that you don't have to become much. You just come in here and product will sell itself and the business will grow itself and everything will just be sunshine and rainbows, and you're going to have instant time freedom and financial freedom, which is all not true. But that's what we sell. We sell this idea of do for 3 to 5 years what other people won't. You can have for the rest of your life, but other people don't. That's not what entrepreneurs do. I'm sorry. It's just not. And this is entrepreneurship. And I joined, we have this business where, let me tell you when most people join, okay? Mentally. I can go right inside their brain and I'll tell you when they join. When you're talking to them about your business, and the moment that their prospect list in their head gets long enough to take away their risk of joining, that's when they say, sign me up. They don't join because they're going to be a network marketing professional. They don't join to say, no, this is going to be my career. I'm not going to be an engineer. I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm not going to be a teacher. I'm going to be a network marketing professional. They don't do that. They join hoping that they're going to be able to have an easier path to be able to have some financial freedom, or they join because they use the product and you know what? The product was pretty great and they can maybe offset their own product use by recommending it to a few friends and being a hero. Okay, great. I joined because I needed money like oxygen. That's why I joined. They say money's not everything, and that's true until you don't have enough. Then money becomes everything. You ever been in a time in your life when money was everything? It might be right now, or stressed out, too much month at the end of the money. You run out of money. You got to sit there and do nothing for 8 days because you can't afford to do any of the stuff that you could do in the first 20 days of the month. I was there, man, and there's so many great things about network marketing, but I started with so many bad habits, so much bad thinking. It's like if my brain was a computer, which it kind of is, there was viruses in my computer. I was professional at starting over. I had 18 jobs by the time I was 23 years old. I had a 1.7 GPA in high school. I barely graduated, okay? Think about getting 18 jobs. I was amazing. When the going got tough, I left. or I was kicked out, and I just start over. I did everything you can do for minimum wage with no education, all entry level jobs. I did all that stuff, and some of you probably have done that too. I didn't follow the traditional path of get decent grades, get into a college, get a degree. I went to one trimester of community college, and dropped out after the one trimester. So I'm going to go make my fortune. Oh, really? So this string of dead end jobs. And the last job I had before I got involved in network marketing is I sold real estate. And the only reason I sold real estate is my dad connected with a high school buddy at a high school reunion, and they started a little real estate business together. And his friend, his name was John Joyce. He ended up being the first mentor in my life outside of my family, first person that really believed in me outside of my family. And he was a millionaire, successful guy, so that mattered to me, that he always was saying, this kid, he's going to do something. Like, huh. So I got introduced basically from John and my dad. They said, wait, we've got a way to make some extra money. Fantastic. Now let me tell you, which I don't tell all the time, but the year before, this was January when I heard about network marketing. The year before, I made $45,000 in real estate. Not bad. And it was just all because somebody had to have a license to show these houses that my dad and John owned. So I was the lucky guy. So I made 45,000. Big problem. I spent 60 because I had some closings that were going to happen for sure, and there's these listings were going to sell for sure. So I'd borrow a little bit here, borrow a little bit there, and pretty soon. And it was January, and I didn't save anything for taxes. I didn't know about this 1099 stuff. I thought when you get a check, you can spend a check, but so it's January and I'm like, oh no, I've got a tax bill coming up in 3 months. What am I going to do? Wait for things to happen. So I got introduced to network marketing. Okay. And when I first was introduced, John Joyce came to my desk one day and said, I think I got a way for us to make some extra money. Let's go over lunch. We're going to go to my friend Charlie's house. We're going to go check it out. Now, Charlie was another successful millionaire. And like, okay, I go to Charlie's house. He had this Arabian horse ranch, beautiful place. And he played this videotape that was so ridiculous. I mean, it was like a Saturday Night Live parody of what network marketing was. It was hype. And, everybody on the tape was like in tears saying I was homeless in a trailer park, 90 days ago, and now I'm making $20,000 a month. All these crazy claims and all this stuff. So I was just like, this doesn't make sense at all. But at the end, I'm ready to leave, and Charlie and my dad and John, they say they're going to do it. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't want to get left behind. So the real problem, I didn't have the money. So I went to my dad and said, will you loan me? I understand you've loaned me money before. I understand I owe you money right now. One more, maybe this can be my thing. So he said, all right. So he loaned me the money to start. And I got off to a decent start. This was back in the days. What's the most you can spend right now to join Trinant? What's the most? Like if he's like, I want the maximum. What's the most? What can somebody do? Oh, you guys LifeVantage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck, man? I got
I don't
Trinant
know.
sitting
Who's
on my piece
giving
of
you-
paper right here. I'm so sorry. I'll tell you some LifeVantage stories. You want to hear them?
Sure, you better save it.
I could save it easy.
Okay.
My mom is a LifeVantage distributor. My son worked for LifeVantage. And I've been using LifeVantage products for what? 8 years? And here's why. They made one presentation to me. I was at the corporate office. They made one presentation and said, and I was reading the clinical studies and stuff. And they say, hey, hold on. You're telling me that Pro Tandem is clinically proven to extend life. That's a fact. They said, yep, done. Presentation over. I will take it for forever because I I don't care if I feel it, don't feel it. I'm ready to go. Done. So I've taken it every day for 8 years and will continue for forever. And now the cool thing that's happened for you guys is innovation and new products that's created this huge spike. Congratulations to you shareholders. I'm one of them. Congratulations to me, because having so much faith for so long, and it's just like all of a sudden, bang, so exciting. It's just like, everything gets proven out. So you're with a spectacular company whose best years are in front of you. So apologies for my notes being all goofy, because I knew there was something wrong in my head while I was going through this. Apologies. Anyway, back to this presentation. So I decided I'm going to join. This was back in the days of people would buy $5,000 worth of products. That's what you paid to join. And you get the first business I was with was water filtration. Water filters. You bought 40 water filters for $5,000. And then you demo these water filters. They're $120 wholesale. You sell them for $180. You make $60. Okay? But if somebody signed up under you, your first commission was $1,200 off of their $5,000. And it went up to $1,800. Okay? I think the max was $2,400 per $5,000 person joining. Company's growing, moving and grooving. People are interested in water filtration. So my first month's check was $7,400 in February. I started in January. Guess how much of it you think I spent? How much? Every single penny, plus a little. I was so stupid. Because, like, I looked like I won the lottery. Like, all I had to do is show it to a couple people. The second month, my check was $12,211. Okay. Like, I quit real estate. I gave away all my listings. I gave away, all my clients. Guess what my third month check was? $1,098.60. As soon as I quit and went full time. Oh my God. And here was the first lesson in a pro mindset. The first lesson is this: you cannot out-earn yourself. You might be in the right place at the right time. Like some of you have had a big spike in income just in the last 8 months. Here's the good news. You get to keep the money that you're making during that period of time, but you have to quickly become, as a person, the income that you're earning. Because if you don't become it, eventually the income's going to come back down to who you are. I was a minimum wage guy. So guess what it came back down to? Me. And I was so mad. I mean, it's when I got that third month's check, I looked at it like, I'm done. I quit. Emotionally, I'm done. I opened the check. I looked at it. I went home. I was so depressed. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. And one of the greatest things that ever happened to me professionally was this. I had nowhere to go. Where could I go? I have 18 jobs. I can't go back and restart in real estate. It's going to take me 90 days to get anything to happen. I'll be bankrupt in 90 days. I already have bills that I have to pay. I've got rent. I've got a little family to take care of. So some of you, your biggest challenge to making huge money in LifeVantage, you know what it is? You got other stuff you can do. There's other ways you can make money. There's other ways that you can earn. You don't have to do this. I was in a situation where my hole was so deep and my options were so slim that I had to do this. I had the gift of desperation and the gift of no other real options. Some of you are spectacular in other areas of your professional life, and because of that, you can always lean on that. I didn't have any of that. It's the best gift because I had to go, the only way out was through. I had to go through the things I was blaming. And I was a professional blamer. By this point in my life, I was pro level. I could convince somebody else it wasn't my fault. Absolutely, 100%. No matter what somebody said, wasn't my fault. They don't give me training in this company. You know, people won't give a young kid that doesn't have a college degree a chance. Nobody will listen to me. I don't have any credibility. There's no support. My upline's not helping me. They signed me up and then went back to their real estate stuff. If I had money, I could be successful. I was good at this, man. I was amazing. They say the product sells itself. Liars. Product's right here. Hasn't sold itself. So, for the first time in my life, blaming wasn't helping me. Because I needed to make money. So I went back to work. And I worked for like 3 years. And I will tell you, there's one thing that happens in our business. We join our business in hopes of time freedom and financial freedom. Isn't that the dream? And from $0 to $100,000 a year, guess what? You don't get to have any. You don't get time freedom on your path to 100 grand. You don't. That's your initiation. Like my son, our youngest, just went to University of Arizona for his freshman year, and he pledged for a fraternity, and he had his initiation. And it was 3-4 months. And it was not easy for him to get through. Now he's in the brotherhood. He's all that stuff. Everything's going fine. But your initiation in network marketing is 0 to 100,000. And during that time freedom actually goes backwards. Financial freedom actually goes backwards. That is called you paying your dues. You paying the price. Now you start to be able to enjoy some duplication from 100 to 250,000. And then it begins to start being freedom, right? You start to be able to enjoy something that's a little bit more predictable after that. But the 0 to 100, that's the big tough part. Like if you want to have something reasonable, if you want to go make $500 a month with your company, you could do that in the nooks and crannies of your life, 15 minutes at a time. If you want to build a real successful long-term business and empire, the dues are that 0 to 100 grand. So anyway, for my first 3 years, I barely eked past 100,000 full time. I was full time this whole time. I made like, I don't know, 60,000 first year, like 90,000 second year, like 103,000 third year. And I had no duplication to speak of. If I slowed down for 5 minutes, my group quit altogether. I mean, all I had was addition and subtraction. I didn't have multiplication. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. You add some people, you lose some people. You add some people, you lose some people. When are these magical people? When am I going to get Christy and Dave on my team? I know that they exist, these unicorns. They never show up on my team. Why? If you ever go to your convention and you watch people walk across stage, the first time and this is the mindset, right? Remember your first, have you been to a convention? Put a 1 in the chat if you've been to a LifeVantage convention. Some of you? All right, a good portion of you, yeah? The first time you go, oh my gosh, your eyes are this big. I don't know if it was like this for you, but I'm pressed up against the glass, ready to get as close up to the front as I'm going to get. And when I start seeing people walk across the stage, that's going to be me. You ever see the different kinds of recognition they have? You know, one kind of recognition is just a name badge. That's all you get. Is it your name? Maybe there's a ribbon that gives your rank on the ribbon on the name badge. And then the second kind of recognition is stand up, sit down. Stand up if you're at this rank. All right, sit down. Third type is fast walk. You get on stage, but you're moving fast. You know, because they got to get a lot of people across the stage. You get a little stage time. Your photographer's got to catch that moment really fast because it's way faster than like a high school graduation. It's moving. They don't even say your name. You're just going across in a parade. Okay? Then there's slow walk, where you slow walk across the stage. Maybe you stop next to one of the VPs or something, and there's a little photo opportunity, and then you keep moving. And then there's like the moment recognition where people, they get to speak. They get flowers and an oversized check and a trophy and, you know, a crown, and somebody puts a special pin on them, and they get to, you know, go up to the microphone and they say, I want to thank my family, and I want to thank God, and I want to thank my team. I couldn't do it if it wasn't for you. Right? And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm writing my speech. I'm writing it right now. I'm going to be one of those people. This is the greatest thing ever. Okay? So I'm writing my speech. I'm imagining myself walking across the stage. Who am I going to thank? All this stuff. Then I go home and life gets in the way. And all my good intentions didn't quite go where they hoped they would go. But convention's coming up again, and they told me never miss an event, and I never did. So I come back to the next event, and I get re-inspired again. All right, I'm really going to do it this time. And I see him go across. But I don't know about you, but for me, after like 5 or 6 of them, and I still wasn't there, it started to hurt. It started to be painful. I started to wonder if maybe there's something wrong with me. Because now you know these people. And you're watching these Forrest Gumps walk across stage. They don't even know how they did it. They don't know how the comp plan works. They don't know what's in the product. They have 8 trillion people on their team, and they're just like, I don't know how. And I'm like, what is going on? And you see this guy walk across, you know, here comes Charlie. You go to your friends, Charlie's going to cry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Charlie's crying, told you. Because Charlie cries every time. Right? And I'm like, I almost quit, swear to God. Because I was just from comparing myself to these people and saying, when is it going to happen for me? Because I'm happy for them, truly. But if it doesn't happen for me at some point soon, I don't think I can take it. You know, I'm just going to take a job and get benefits or whatever, something. So I'm sitting in an event, and I'm like, this whole parade is happening again, and I'm still not on the stage. And something happened. I just went, hold on. What if I decide to be a professional? World class. Not just in my head, but in practice. Because if I was really honest with myself, I was trying to get lucky. I was hoping that my company would make up for my lack of skill. I was hoping that, you know, I could find that magical distributor that was going to change everything. You know, they always told you, you know, hey, there's 3 pearls out of every 100 oysters. I went through a lot of oysters. Didn't find any frickin' pearls. You know, like I was in the wrong end of the ocean or something. It was not fun. And, you know, it was a desperate feeling, if I'm being honest. You know, and happy for other people, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, it was like, you ever have one of those moments like everybody around you disappears and it's just everything gets quiet in your head and you're like, hold on. If I just focus on being expert level and forget about luck, screw luck. I don't need luck. Expert level. Then they'll have to put me on that stage. They'll beg me to go on that stage. They'll ask me in advance, please, would you come up and share your wisdom? And I don't know if you ever had one of these moments, but in this moment, the dominating emotion that I had for the first 3.5 years of my career was fear. Fear that I wasn't enough, fear I was going to miss it, fear it was going to leave me behind, fear I was in the wrong group, fear that I wasn't going to be able to lead people, that I was letting people down. And once I made the decision, it was like something snapped in my head and the fear left my body. Whew, gone. And I had a plan. And I literally decided, you know what? If I become great, everything else will take care of itself. I just need to focus on me. I'm going to become great. And I did. I started that weekend. I got a new notepad, like a journal, and I decided I was acting like an investigative reporter. What are the skills that I have to master? And I found the people who are the best. I asked, who's the best at finding prospects in this whole place? Who's the best at networking? Who's the best at inviting people to look at what we have? Who's the best salesperson? Who's the best recruiter? Who's the best at promoting events? Who's the best at getting people started? And I started finding my way to get around those people, buying them breakfast, buying them coffee, buying them lunch, buying them something, just so I can get access. And I started to fill up my notebook. And I was learning in a different way, very intentional. And I realized by the end of that weekend, for the first time in my life, nothing could stop me from going to the top. Nothing. You couldn't stop me. No matter what you did, didn't matter, because I changed my relationship with failure in that weekend, and the change was this: do you learn more from success or failure? Put a 1 in the chat if you learn more from success. 2 in the chat if you learn more from failure. 2s, yeah. I think we'd all agree you learn more from failure. Why are we so afraid of it then? Why will we do anything to avoid it? Anything to stop, to save ourselves from being humiliated. Right? Handle it. Like, how embarrassing was it for me to have the wrong company name on my piece of paper? Hopefully I handled it decent. Such an idiot. But, hey, what are you going to do? Plan, do, review. I'm going to learn for the next one. I'm going to triple check. I know Christy and Dave. Why did my brain leave my body? Sometimes that happens. So I changed my relationship. And my relationship was, I'm either going to win in every circumstance or I'm going to learn. If I lose, I actually win more. You understand? So if I have an experience out there trying to build my business and it doesn't work out, I'm going to learn more than if it does. So I'll be stronger tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. You can't stop me. I realize I can go all the way to the top. Nobody could stop me. My tired little team couldn't stop me. I changed. So I was asking the doc earlier, Doc Mitchell, yeah, if he was a professional. He said, yeah, very much so. So if you were going to be a professional in LifeVantage, what would that look like? And does it resemble anything that you're doing now? Just if we're being honest. Professional, expert level, top shelf. If you're a professional, let me tell you what a medical doctor would go through in order to be able to become a medical doctor. It's like 10 years of practice before they'd let a doctor be a doctor. So Doc Mitchell, how many years of study and practice for you to become expert level?
8.
8 years. 8 years of practice, right? Dedication, focus.
Well, still
Learning.
practicing.
Still practicing, never stop. That's what
Yeah.
professionals do, right? So 8 years, and it keeps going. Have any of you practiced anything in LifeVantage? Or do you practice on your prospects? Doc Mitchell wasn't practicing on his patients in his first month. He was studying. He was role playing. He was working with other experts. He was doing all kinds of stuff before he was comfortable going to a prospect. Like, so have you worked on your skills? How would you rate your skills at finding prospects? How would you rate your skills on inviting people to take a look at what you have? How would you rate your skills on presenting to people? Are you an expert level presenter? How would you rate your skills at follow up, answering questions, overcoming objections, keeping the conversation going? How would you rate your skills at closing? How would you rate your skills at getting people started effectively, create more duplication? How would you rate your skills at promoting events? You cannot expect LifeVantage to make up for your lack of skill over a long enough period of time. It won't. It can't. Here's the good news, though. LifeVantage will wait for you to develop the skills, and you'll make money in the meantime. You can plug into a support system. You can have other people help you. You can have your upline support. You can have tools. You can have trainings. You can have events, all these other kinds of things that will help you, but they will not mask your lack of skill over a long enough period of time. They'll buy you time to become skilled, but if you want to have a $1 million mindset, you got to change your relationship with your career. So here's the good news. The good news is they won't fire you in the meantime. They won't kick you out. So grateful. Because if this was a job, I'd have been fired so many times. I'd never be here. Thank God. As long as you follow company's policies and procedures, you'll be able to hang out. Right? So for me, making the decision is step one on how to think and act and earn like a pro. Change your relationship with excellence. And there's this great, I'm trying to remember her name. There's a podcast with Tim Ferriss, and this young lady was on this podcast, and she was like an Asian American. I can't remember the nationality, but demanding parents, and they always challenged her. She said, when I was doing my little coloring book, I would show it to my father, and my father would say, "Is that world class?" And she's like, "I'm 4. Is that the best you can do?" Well, I'll go try again. So she was kind of trained from an early age to just focus on becoming on excellence no matter what she was doing. So she ended up going to Stanford. Okay? She's at Stanford, and she's paying her tuition by being like an assistant in one of the professors' offices, like the dean's office somewhere. And all she was doing was like stapling, copying stuff and stapling it together and getting donuts and getting coffee. And she was feeling sorry for herself. And she was talking to her dad, and she was saying, "Dad, I don't know about this job. I'm making copies. I'm stapling copies. I'm getting coffee. I'm getting donuts. I feel like, what am I doing?" And he said to her, "My daughter, are you world class at this?" She said, "What do you mean? Are you world class at how you're making those photocopies? Is the staple in the same exact spot every time? Is the coffee the best you can make it? Are the donuts laid out on the plate the best way you can make it? Everything matters." So she just dedicated herself. She thought she was completely invisible to all the people that she was working for. She just dedicated herself to doing things great. Okay. One day, her superior was not in the office, and the dean comes in and says, "You're the one who takes care of the coffee and donuts, yeah? Yeah. I need you to give a guest of ours a tour of, our whole facilities. Because you do excellent work. I've seen you do the excellent work. I want you to give this tour." So somebody noticed, which somebody's always going to notice, just so you know. So she gives this person a tour, doesn't know who he is, walks him through the whole campus, and this guy's taken by her, impressed, and I think I'm trying to remember the company. But finally he says, hey, listen, I'm very impressed by you. I wonder if you'd like to come to my job and shadow me for a couple weeks and see what I do. And she said, well, I'm sorry, I don't know what do you do? She said, well, I'm the CEO of Cisco. So if you'd like to, I'd like you to have, come and shadow me during this period of time, learn what you can, because I'm impressed by you. She's now one of the most successful female venture capitalists on earth. But it started from making the coffee the best she could make it, making the donuts on the plate the best she could make it, putting the staple in the photocopies the best possible she could make it when nobody was noticing. It's the difference between being world class when you think that nobody cares, and kind of ignoring your team when it's small. Oh, when my team gets bigger, then I'll be professional. But since it's just a little measly team, they could figure it out on their own. So, what if you were going to be world class, what would you do? When it comes to skills, when people ask me for advice, my advice is always the same. Start with skills. And let me tell you why. And that's why I talk in the book GoPro, I talk about skills. But here's why. If you become skilled, you'll be more confident. And if you're more confident, you'll take more action. And if you take more action, you're going to get more results. And it's going to create a virtuous cycle, upward momentum. If you try and get something for nothing and you don't have the skills and you just plug into all the support and the systems and everything else, if that support ever fails, you don't have a way out. You don't have a future. So the skills are where you can start. Think about something that you're great at. Any of you. Put it in the chat. One thing that you're great at. Miranda, what are you great at? I'm curious. Lindy, what are you great at? Wanda, what are you great at? Talking. We'll get specific. Great. What are you great at? Are you like a public
Angie,
speaker?
you stole my answer.
Serving others. But be specific on that. Something that you're amazing. You're like highly skilled. Anything. Get specific, not just talking, listening. Personal training. All right, great. What else? Radio personality. Fantastic. What else? Not be afraid to talk to strangers. I'm not talking about like personality. I'm talking about like actual something you figured out. Teaching piano. Great. Tax preparation. Fantastic. Skiing. All right, good. Now, you figured that out. What made you great? In skiing, what made you great? Practice, reps. You had to put in the reps. You didn't just, I'm really passionate about skiing, so I'm going to be great. The passion's wonderful, but you got to do it. You got to put in the reps to be great. But think about this. Could somebody come to you as a skier and say, you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to skiing? You're not great. Could they shake your confidence? No. You're not great at as a CPA. You're not great at water skiing. You suck. It wouldn't even hurt for somebody to say that you suck. Because you don't suck. You're good. You're confident, right? I want you to feel the same thing about building your life management business. That same level of confidence. And the confidence is going to come from the reps, right? And the reps are going to create the skill. The skill is going to create the confidence, and off on we go over and over and over again. I want to get you out of this idea of trying to get lucky. This idea of minimum disease. If you don't know what I mean by that, most people in network marketing have minimum disease. Because we have this small business, and you're investing a small amount of money in these small little products. And then the thought is, what's the minimum I have to do to qualify? What's the minimum number of lines, sponsorship lines I need to have to rank advance? As long as you have minimum disease, you have a ceiling on your potential. You're asking the wrong question. It's not about how little can I do, it's how much can you do. It's not how many lines is the minimum to qualify, it's how many will they allow me to recruit. It's a different way of thinking. It's opposite to almost every network marketer. Instead of minimum, what's maximum? Instead of being afraid of failure, bring that failure on. Because it's going to help me learn faster. It's the opposite. Instead of hoping that LifeVantage is going to help you become more, you could say, I'm going to help LifeVantage become more. See the difference? Completely different mindset. So, being a pro, 1. 2, changing your relationship with failure. Failure way to the top. 3, think of yourself like world class. 4, get away from minimum disease. And 5, if you're going to be a pro, can you afford to hang out with people that are trying to stop you from being a pro? Not if you're serious. And this was the hardest journey I had to go through. So hard. I learned it from Jim Rohn. He said, you're going to become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that was tough talk. Because it's true. And if you don't like where your life is, you need to change your circle. That's why it's so important who your kids have as friends. I mean, you can't have a more important thing than who is their peer group. So, and if you want to improve your life, you need to improve your circle, which means something has to give. So I put people in 3 categories. Category 1, they're distracting you from your purpose. Okay? All distractions are equal, and if they distract you from your purpose consistently enough, you will not achieve your purpose. So 1 is distracting you. Second group are discouraging you from your purpose. Third group, they're pushing you to step into your purpose. So if you think about those 3 things, right? Distracting, discouraging, and encouraging. You'd want to spend more time with people who are encouraging you towards your purpose and less time with people distracting and discouraging you from your purpose, right? It's obvious. So obvious until you have to do it. There's some of you have people in your life that you don't want to hurt their feelings. So you spend exactly the same amount of time with them as you always have. And in exchange, you sacrifice your future. How many movies do you need to see that the hero, if they stay in that circle of friends, they're going to be dead or living at 2% of their potential? How many movies do you need to see? It's obvious when you see it on screen. They got to get away from that person. That person's a bad influence. That person's not going to change. That person is taking them down the wrong path. That person is distracting them from what they really need to do. That person is a bad influence, right? But what if they're just a kind of bad influence? Here's the mistake we make in trying to develop $1 million mindset. The mistake we make is we're going to influence them. And here's a phrase, and I'm not calling your associations the devil, but if you dance with the devil doesn't change. The devil changes you. And that's what happens in influence. You cannot outpower influence if you're trying to grow. They will influence you. So here's what this meant for me. Spending less time with people who are distracting me from my purpose. Even if they're family members, I just got really busy in more positive directions. I didn't say, no, I'm limiting my time with you. I was just not as available as I normally was. So limiting time. Second was disassociation. Some people you need to unfriend in real life. This is as true a talk as I can possibly give you. If you don't, you sacrifice your life. There are some people that I consider myself a positive person. In 10 minutes of being around them, I'm joking at somebody else's expense. I'm gossiping about other people. I'm joining right in because they just suck me right in. They'll get me to go to the beach instead of doing what I need to do. They'll get me to stop with my habits. They'll get me to say, oh, come on, you can have that extra serving of ice cream. They'll get me to do all kinds of stuff. Like, unfriending people is not just a thing on social media. You take highly successful, expert level people, they just will not have space in their life for people who are taking them off track. They just won't. And then the most positive was get around people. Create your circle of people that will push you in the direction of your purpose. And you have that built into your company. You have that built into your team. Okay? At the beginning, you know what everybody always said? They said, take a millionaire to lunch. Oh, it sounds so cool. Try it when you're minimum wage guy. Good luck. You know why? They were all trying to limit their association with me. They were trying to disassociate from me. They couldn't afford to have me in their circle. I brought their average down so bad that, boy, I better have some potential to be worth even an hour. Could I, if I get in their circle for an hour, do I pull down the average of their whole circle? 100%. So for me, it was tough. I was trying to get myself into the right crowd. They're trying to limit their associations with people like me. So my mentors and my associations were virtual before they were real. I'd rather you have 0 associations and have great influences for a short season so you can earn yourself into a different crowd than be in the wrong crowd. So my friends were books. My friends were audio programs. Those were my circle of influence. My circle was Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Og Mandino. Okay? These were my circle. Dennis Waitley at the time. That was my circle. It was like I was driving them around and they were in my car just giving me advice. And I spent less time with my friends that were just trying to make it to the weekend. I called them my red cup friends. You know, they'd buy the red cup for $5 and, you know, there'd be a kegger in the backyard and they'd go all night. Then they start their miserable job the next week and do it over and over and over again. So I surrounded myself with giants. And I earned myself into a different crowd. And I'm still doing it. You know, I love so much getting in a room that's so big that it's just better that I be quiet. So big, so powerful, so amazing, and I burn in those rooms. I come home mad, but in a good way. You ever had, feel a burn? It's like, I'm so sick of playing small. These people are playing at another level. I'm in the kiddie games. I got to go. That's what I try and get myself into those groups all the time. Okay? You want to change your life, change your circle. Be serious about where you spend your time. Make sure the inputs into your brain are pushing in the right direction, and make sure you're guarding yourself from the inputs that would push you in the wrong direction in every possible way. You can get sucked into politics and give up half of your life. You can get sucked into whatever different, cause or whatever that is going to become part of your identity, but it'll steal from your purpose. And not even to talk politically, it's risky. It makes me sad that it's risky to mention a person's name, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Elon Musk is one of the most brilliant people on earth, and he's trying to do some things, and right now he's got a lot of political stuff going on. Whether that's good or bad, here's what I will tell you. He sold all of his houses because they were a distraction. Because he wants to get to Mars. And all distractions are equal. He doesn't own a home. Because he'd have to give some mental bandwidth to that stuff. And that's not his purpose. I find that so fascinating. So interesting. Because we get all hung up in all our stuff. Our houses and our cars and our stuff. What's our purpose? For me, my love language and my purpose is contribution. That's why I'm here. To contribute to you in some way. There's somebody on this Zoom that needed to hear what we're talking about now. I don't know who it is. And we'll find out, right? But I think there's two phases in a career as a professional. There's accumulation phase, and it's okay for you to be in accumulation phase. Get yourself taken care of. Put your oxygen mask on before you help somebody else. Get your life, your finances, all that stuff taken care of. And then if you stay in accumulation, I promise you it gets empty. If my suggestion to you, flip from accumulation to contribution, and that's super fuel. That'll cause you to do things you wouldn't normally do. And it's so rewarding. I cannot even tell you. I live for the tap on the shoulder where somebody says 5 years from now, hey, back in March of 2025, I was on this little Zoom. And you mentioned the wrong company at the beginning, and it was really weird. But then you mentioned the right company. And something clicked for me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to become a pro. I'm going to do this for real. And now, 5 years later, I've got 100,000 people on my team. I've been able to help so many people around the world. The products change people's lives. I feel really good about my contribution. I'm comfortable. My family's taken care of. The causes that are important to me are taken care of. And you were a piece of that, so thanks. That's what I do all this stuff for, honestly. So, look, I didn't really have a specific agenda other than to get you to think a little different. LifeVantage is not going to do this for you. And your upline's not going to do this for you. And network marketing is not going to do this for you. All of those things are a vehicle. They're all a resource. But you are the asset, ultimately. You are. If you develop you, there is literally no stopping. If somebody like a 1.7 GPA, 18 jobs before I got involved in this profession, can do this. I've coached over 1,000 people how to make $1 million a year in network marketing. 1,000. And tens of thousands making six figures. It's so fun. Well, I will tell you, you commit to becoming excellent here, your days of hoping that the company stays hot or timing or positioning is great are over. I'd rather be good than lucky. I'd rather be great than good. It's really rewarding, and it'll help you too. Okay? Let me give you a couple things, just kind of wrap. And I hope, hey, look, I hope this landed on somebody today in a positive way. If it helped you, throw a 7 in the chat. If it helped you at all, a little bit, that would be great. Cool. Makes me happy. I got to see if Miranda, there's Miranda smiling. I got a little grin from Miranda. Hi, Miranda. How are you? Anyway, great to see all of you. If you'd like, I have some stuff that I think will help you. It's a daily video membership where I send a training video every day. It averages about 7 minutes a day. It might not sound like a lot, but I'm a huge believer in micro learning. Learn, do, learn, do, learn, do, learn, do. But it's every day. 7 minutes a day, every day, on average. It'll be like 11 minutes sometimes, 3 minutes sometimes, but 7 minutes on average. And on mindset, skill set, strategy, leadership, encouragement, belief, mental toughness, all of that. So it's called GoPro Insider. It's about to be $19 a month, which is a huge bargain. It's like 60 cents a day. It's nothing. Right now, this moment, it's $9 a month. So if you want to get that, I would highly recommend it. GoProInsider.com will take care of you. And let me work on you over the course of a year. So 7 minutes a day is like 42 hours of content over the course of the next year. It costs you next to nothing. $9 a month, it's nothing. That'll help you. And I will also tell you this. We have a big event that we do once a year called the GoPro Experience. 3 days at the end of every year, first week of December. This year is December 5th, 6th, and 7th. A virtual ticket for that, there's 400 people who can attend in person, but tens of thousands attend around the world. You can get a virtual ticket for that 3-day event for $197. December 5th, 6th, and 7th. This is like the Super Bowl of network marketing. Amazing 3-day experience. I will give you, if you become a GoPro Insider, I'll give you a free ticket to this year's GoPro. This is December 5th, 6th, and 7th. Okay, my gift to you. It's a $197 ticket. Give it to you for free if you join GoPro Insider. Okay, so hey, try it out. If you don't like it, cancel. But here's what I think I can help you do: become a professional, become expert level faster. If you're serious enough, you'll get there anyway. I'll just help you save time. If you can get excellent quicker, that's worth something. Okay, so $9 is going to go up to $19 in a couple weeks, but for you and your team, $9, and I'll give you a GoPro ticket. And that's not what I'm giving people. When you go to the page, you won't see that. But if you go to GoPro Insider, somebody from our team will contact you, let you know that you got a ticket. And if you're already an insider, if you're already part of that membership, just send an email to support@networkmarketingpro.com and let them know that I offer this free ticket, so you can get a free ticket too. Okay? So anyway, I hope this hit you well, and I hope the ideas landed on good soil. So
No.
Christy and Dave, I'll pass it back to my friends.
We can't say enough about this. Thank you so much, Eric, for sharing, pouring into our team.
The chat was blowing up.
Chat's blowing up. I got to tell you,
Good.
everybody knows Christy and I. We got back involved and joined Eric for a lot of reasons, but one was we aren't world class. We're pretty good at what we do, maybe even close to expert. We're nowhere near world class. We felt we needed somebody behind us on our shoulder, kind of whispering in our ear. And I
Accountability.
wasn't aware he was going to offer this up tonight, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Can you imagine
pleasure.
having this kind of inspiration just talking to you every day? Just a little reminder of what's good, what we should be focusing on with all the other stuff going on in the world. Can't say enough about that. But Linda, can you take everybody off of mute there? We just want to say
did,
thank you as a
yes.
group. Give him a big round of applause.
My pleasure, everybody.
A lot more of him personally, and we're going to be sharing everything he pours into us from the mastermind group, and you guys have already experienced it in the last month. Some of the changes he's helped incorporate with the team, help us
Big
focus
things
Get
happening.
back to basics.
back to the basics.
Yeah, man.
Off
It's the
the
biggest
last
trend in the
page.
world. The biggest trend in the world right now is person to person in addition to technology. The more you can get person to person, the faster your team's going to grow. Blend those two. That's the biggest trend in the world by far. It's not even close.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
absolutely. So unmute everybody and just give a
Thank
warm.
It's a
you.
pleasure.
Thank
Love y'all.
Thank you,
you.
Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Much respect.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Eric, I think, is on mute.
He muted himself, I believe.
I think he dropped off. Anyway,
He's
yep.
gone. I don't even
Oh.
see it.
That was amazing.
That was so good.
In the morning.
Thank you guys for providing this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
amazing. God.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Christy and Dave. Thank you,
Yeah,
Lindy.
thank you guys.
This was great.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.
Yep.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Go
Thank
pro, everyone. Go pro.